All right, guys. So that didn't work well. I don't have any volume on that. Um, I apologize. So we'll scrap that because I don't know how to fix that. Um, so I guess I could lip sync it or something, but that's not going to help. So, all right. Well, let's talk about something else then. Never mind. All right. Well, I tried that. So,
I didn't hear your intro, Ryan, but I'm signed up for Tom Ferry coaching. I've been doing it for about 6 months now.
Oh, cool. How's it going for you?
Great. I love it. My coach is amazing. She's a lot like Tom Ferry because, they assigned you one. You don't get the Tom Ferry like I was hoping for. But she's great. She's got lots of great energy. She motivates me. She's there, when I need her throughout the day too.
Okay. And what's Duncan's first name? Do you remember the guy? Did you mention somebody, Duncan?
Are you asking me? No.
Yes.
I didn't say
Okay.
Duncan. My coach's name is Marianne.
Okay. There's another coach, and his name is Duncan. That's who's going to be doing our five-week series. So that's starting up. I know you missed the intro, but that is starting up sometime in the next couple of weeks. We'll make an announcement next Wednesday about what that's doing. And that's free for you guys. 5-week series, once a week, and I don't know, Tuesdays, Thursdays, whenever we have it. You guys have any input on that? If you guys want to vote in the chat on Tuesdays or Thursdays, mornings or afternoons, let me know, and we'll use the preferences of the masses to the best we can. All right. So what are you guys seeing out there? Let's have a discussion since we don't have a program.
Okay, it's not me, it's John, and he's with our buyer right now, an investor buyer who's qualified, knows his numbers top to bottom, is doing great on his own. When they lose a deal to a cash buyer, he walks away and he finds something else, blah, blah, blah. Well, people are calling back that the prior deals are falling through. So when they try to make an appraised offer based on the appraisal amount, not the list price, they get rejected. So why are you calling them back if you already know that they're gonna offer the list price and not more? I mean, the appraised price and not more. So they're calling back, but they're not really interested in negotiating. Is anybody else having that same problem?
It sounds like a pretty specific problem. I don't know. Maybe they're hoping that you'll go higher and waive appraisal and all that stuff. I mean, that's the only reason. I mean, but it's worth a call, I guess, if you're the listing agent.
Right. But the fact that they're reaching out after the negotiations fall through is the part that's confusing us.
Maybe they were bluffing.
Ah.
At least you got a call back.
That's what I said. But then when they're not willing to really talk, what's the point?
Yeah. But at that point, you should just offer full price and go forward because that's an opportunity, I think.
Right. But the first time they did that, the appraisal came in so low that they couldn't meet in the middle.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are offers that have already played out, walked away from.
Oh, got it.
There's nothing else to do. They're going back and revisiting them,
Sounds like what the banks have always done, just went back and forth, highest and best, highest and best, highest and best. As soon as you put in an offer, highest and best. They've always played that stupid game.
Well, the appraisals, I don't know about you guys, but we're seeing these appraisals coming in significantly lower than list price. So, it puts you in a weird position, I guess.
Yep. Dalton is starting to see sellers getting greedy and some buyers standing up and starting to say no. That's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Well, good. It's got to happen at some point, right?
Hey everybody, it's Eric. So I got a quick question from some of our experienced friends of in this call. So, what do you do for purchasing a vacant land for this? What do you call this term? Feasibility period, or whatever they call it. What do you do for that? What's the best way to do it, and how you do that? I've never done it before, and I have a vacant land contract to put in.
All right, first, Eric, let me ask you something before anyone chimes in here. Is this for a residential property or commercial property?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So it's listed as industrial. So I also want to know, what can you put in industrial? Could you put anything on industrial, or have to be something specific?
All right, so this goes into a land development question. So industrial is probably the scariest of all the land uses, in that it could, if it was used before, it could have all kind of environmental problems based on what they have done there before. If it's just land for environmental, it could have had something seeping onto it from a nearby industrial property. It could have anything like that. So it's one of the most extensive and expensive feasibility studies you're going to do, because you got to do all kinds of environmental stuff. So you're going to have issue with that. Now, as far as what industrial covers, that is it. There are different. There's going to be I1, I2, I3s, all kinds of stuff like that. That some of them are for light manufacturing, and some of them are for heavy manufacturing. Some of them for automotive, whatever they are. But the jurisdiction that it's in, either the county or the city that it's in, will have on their website a description of what that kind of zoning allows. But even once it says that, you want to go, just because you read it on the internet doesn't mean it's true. You want to go meet with them and at least talk to someone there in their zoning department, and make sure that you're getting the right use before you go further. Now, also in your contract, it says for use as all the vacant land contracts say this is intended purchase for use as a blank property. You want to go ahead and be specific on there what you're doing, because it is contingent on that property. Purchasing the property is contingent on that. So you want to make sure that you can use it for that as well. And if you're on the listing side of that, you want to make sure that the buyer verifies that they can use it for what they did. You want to be very careful about what they write in that box. If they write something for multifamily use and you don't know if you can get that zoning or not, then they can always back out right to the last second. So be careful with that.
Okay.
But to go back to your feasibility period, during that feasibility period, you want to do environmental stuff, especially with this industrial. It's scary. You want to do environmental. They've got to do all kinds of environmental assessments to make sure there's not some kind of fuel or something that's been stored there and leaked and all kinds of stuff like that, because there's all kinds of environmental stuff involved.
Hey, Eric, if it was me personally, I don't know anything about industrial land. I would ask someone that could mentor me, that knows, that has sold industrial before, because it's very complex. You got to really watch what you're doing. So I would find somebody else, maybe here in the room, somebody's sold industrial before, and can team up with you to help. That's what I would do personally.
Thank you.
I've interviewed 4 engineers for a project. Ryan and I discussed this last week, so that we can get everything in order for what my buyer wants to do for his industrial use. And I can't get one engineer to contact me back. So I'm having to do all the legwork myself. That was the only choice I had left. Not that I'm happy about it.
Okay. You guys have any other questions? I'm reading something here in the chat.
I have questions.
Yes, Falmouth.
Okay, I have silly questions that I gotta ask because I don't know. Question number 1, for those that are experts out there, if you are representing a buyer and you have a house, you have a home that they already are under contract with, you're not the listing agent, of course. Can I take a photo of that home that it's under contract, it's not my listing, and use it for social media marketing and say under contract or something like that? It's not my listing, it's my buyer's home that it's under contract. Or should I wait until the home is sold and just take a picture of the home and put sold on my social media.
I would wait till the house was sold.
Okay,
So, but
okay.
you can.
Has the listing agent been really friendly with you? Are you
She's,
getting along
yeah,
with her?
she's been, I don't know her personally, never works with her, but we have developed that great relationship. We talked a lot and,
So call her and ask her. It won't hurt if you already got a good rapport with her and everything going back and forth. You know, I don't see any problem with it myself. I don't care. You can market any way of my listings, even if they're under contract. I don't care. So I would call the listing agent and just ask.
okay. And question number 2, thank you. Question number 2, out-of-state buyers. I was contacted by the mom of a customer that I have. I don't have to call them clients, customer that I have. And her mom is in Massachusetts. She is selling her home there. She is already under contract. She is scheduled to close on that home on July 31st. She wants to purchase here in Ocala or Bellevue. I don't know how that's pronounced, I'm sorry.
Bellevue.
And thank you. And there is a home that I've been selling her mom, the mom and the daughter. The daughter is here in Orlando. The mom is in Massachusetts. She wants to put in an offer on this particular home in Bellevue. I have asked her to send me a copy of her contract because it is my understanding that she's going to purchase the property cash with the profit from what she makes on the home in Massachusetts. So to my understanding, she can still put in an offer on this home cash contingent on the sale of her property in Massachusetts. And I can send a copy of that executed contract to this realtor in Ocala. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so is it okay to put in an offer for someone that hasn't seen the property? Do I need to go out there and FaceTime her, showed her the property? What is the protocol for an out-of-state person to purchase a home? What do I need to do?
Okay, like most things, everything is, everything's legal and ethical that you just mentioned. So it's okay to do that, yes. If I'm the listing agent, I want to know that you've seen the property because I don't want to tie this property up. And then once you see it, it's like, oh, it's not, just like a dating website or something, you see the person like, they don't look like the picture, right? So you want to get out there and I would go out there and take videos and all stuff, but it's also like we talked about with you guys, it's your resource. Your time is your resource. Going around putting properties under contract that the person's never seen is risky for your time. It's a time waster a lot of time. Because it's
I do a video do a live walkthrough with them. Do a live walkthrough. Just go put them on the phone and walk right through. I've done that with a guy in California. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
great. That's great. That's even better than a video because they can say, "Oh, wait, go back to that bathroom. I want to see."
Yes,
that."
exactly. And you can explain it as you're walking through and elaborate on certain things and notice like, oh, the rug's a little frayed right here or whatever, and point it out. And you put the phone down and say, "This is tile floor." You can get a lot more detailed with it in person.
Also,
Okay.
give them a neighborhood overview since they're not from the area. Video outside as well.
And you can do a WhatsApp because if you can't, if they don't have your FaceTime, you could do WhatsApp
And
video.
may I suggest a buyer brokerage agreement and copies of their IDs? That's just the compliance, OCD in me.
All right. So yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Lots of good ideas there, and it's and if you're doing it that way, it's not much different than just meeting a client there. So do it that
Okay.
way, and that way you won't be wasting time. But also, and if that's the case, I wouldn't, you don't need to mention to the listing agent that they haven't seen the property, and certainly if you've been there, that's a plus. So yeah.
Okay. And in terms of, as far as, so she's closing on the 31st of her property. And I could put in the offer contingent on the closing of her property like 2 days after July 31st so that she can have that money in her bank account.
Okay.
Place is
That's
recent.
a long ways away for her to be closing. That's
I
like
know.
2.5 months.
I know.
So, I mean, I wonder why that's closing so long, and is there going to be a problem? You need to call and find out the strength of the buyer purchasing her home, what that situation is. And on the sale of buyer's property addendum, you have 3 days to cancel the contract if they don't close. You know, if she's not going to close on her house, you have 3 days you put a certain date in there. And if she doesn't close by that date, you can give notice in 3 days and cancel the contract. She gets her deposit back.
Well, the bigger problem here is you're going to have a hard time buying a property that you're going to say we're going to close in August right now.
Exactly. You're going to have to close out in August. Nobody's
Yes.
probably not going to take that offer. You're going to have to wait till she gets closer to closing date to find a house for her, most likely.
Yeah, she may
Okay.
have a tenant there. She may have all kinds of reasons not closing until July 31st, but she needs to, this is way too early to be looking around for properties.
Okay, I was planning on calling the listing agent for that property and her realtor in Massachusetts so she can give me a little more information on her property over there, because she has an inspection for her home in Massachusetts this coming Friday. So
Okay, so
we're way too an offer for her until her inspection period is over for that buyer in Massachusetts, because they might cancel on her anytime.
Right.
Well, that buyer's financing might fall through. I mean, you've got 2 months, so you really need to wait till the financing period is up for that buyer to get your conditional loan approval on her buyer. I probably wouldn't even try to do anything until probably the beginning of July, try to find a house. Then they're going to be through their process a lot further down, that you're going to know the feel for what's going on with her deal.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I have two comments real quick, Eric, regarding this deal you're talking about. So I think a lot of banks are taking a lot more time to process loans. There's just a lot of people doing refinancing. That's probably one of the reasons, I'm assuming. The closing is out there, because you need at least 60 days these days. The bank will tell you up front they need time to process this loan. This is the comment number one. So the comment number two, regarding the type of purchase, cash or but my understanding, the cash offer doesn't have any contingency to it, right? So how are you gonna say? Well, you have to be in the additional comments in the bottom, because there's no contingency if you go to put a cash offer. So I'm gonna assume you have to be a financing offer, but you can still buy cash then. Is that true?
I didn't catch all of that question. What was the question?
So the question was, so the question was, there's no financial contingency for if you're gonna mark as cash, buyer will pay cash. There's no contingency in that. So I'm assuming you're not gonna be able to put any contingency, say, hey, my buyer have to sell her house first. I'm assuming you have to go with the financing option, but she can still buy cash, right? Is that true?
No, there's an addendum actually for the sale of buyer's property. And you can even write it in the additional terms. You don't have to use the addendum, but there's an addendum for the sale of buyer's property. It's unrelated. You can still be cash and still have a contingent on sale. You can have a contingent on anything, but still be cash. You just won't be financing contingent. If you check the cash box, you just can't back out for financing. But you can back out for the inspection. You can back out for if you have a sale of buyer's property and that sale falls through. You can have any other contingency.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? I'm going to try to get this video thing worked out. So we'll have that for next time, but we will be announcing the times. I've only got one vote so far two votes for mornings, one for Tuesday AM, one for Tuesday either morning. So yeah, I got 4 votes. Looks like Tuesday mornings when we're going to try to do it. So I appreciate all of you exercising your right to vote, all 4 of you. And the rest of you just didn't have any good options. I understand. Oh, there's Vivian. I guess we'll count her vote. All right. So since it's the same as everybody else's, we'll go ahead and count it. Any other questions or comments? Guys, I'm sorry that this was a huge disappointment today. Um, and we'll do better. We'll work on our game and get better. But this gives you more time to go out and sell houses, right? Let's go do it. Let's go do it.
What do you think about the gas problem? Do you think there's maybe a gas issue?
Gasoline issues. No, yes, but no. I don't think it's really. I mean, look, I'm a director of sales at Florida Realty Investments, not an expert, but I would say that it's a pipeline that feeds most of the Southeast, but not Florida. And people, if you're having a hard time finding gas this morning, which I know you are, because I was at the gas station this morning, half of their pumps were out of gas, and people were lined up for the other, not super long, but like 1 or 2 for the other people. This isn't happening here. So, I mean, I guess if you're traveling to the Carolinas or somewhere else, then you're going to need gas in an extra can or whatever. But no, it shouldn't be a problem here in Florida. Plus, they say, I read some stuff on it, and even with this pipeline down, it's only like 1 out of 5 deliveries is not going to make it. So they'll still be fine if people don't all get gas at once. And this is, you guys have heard this already. Same thing happened with toilet paper. There was no
True.
extra movements going on. Everybody had to hoard toilet paper at once, so there wasn't enough. So that's what's going on, I think. But I don't know. I got gas yesterday very reasonably, so no line, no nothing out by our office. So I got one unacceptable. One things happen, so we have completely different kinds of people in here. I appreciate both of you. Watch a tape and be better next game. Yes, you are, Dalton. So, all right, guys. Well, any other questions? Housekeeping questions of any type? Anything?
Yeah, I got a question there, and I'm the new guy asking all the questions. So
I love it, Eric. Thank you.
I'm just trying to learn as much as I can. Make you guys look good. So, so if you're writing a contract, I'll say, and as is, I mean, that's the most we use now. What are some basic addendums or you always include with your contract?
Well, there's no basic addendum you always include. It just depends on the deal. So it depends on, what do you have to disclose? Well, basic addendum, I mean, with the contract, whatever you look for, any kind of addenda that were offered by the seller, because those are should be attachments on your MLS. So if it's an HOA, they should have an HOA disclosure that is half executed up there by the sellers. They should have a seller's property disclosure that's executed by the sellers and filled out by the sellers. They should have anything else that applies. If it's a short sale, there's a short sale addendum. Whatever kind of deal it is, there's going to be an addendum for that. You only provide addenda for things that you're bringing to the table. If you're bringing in an FHA VA deal, if you're bringing in a sale of buyer's property contingency, if you're bringing in an additional appraisal contingency, if you're bringing in any kind of contingency, you're going to have your own addenda for that. But typically you don't provide, nobody on here does the same addendum every time for stuff unless they do a certain kind of deal every time.
All right, thank you very much. That's a good answer.
Ryan,
Yes, it is.
have you done a contracts class recently?
No.
Teach the
Well,
as
we
a
had an
contract.
attorney on 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about it.
And he went over
I missed
some
that one,
stuff. But you mean like a 3-hour real contracts class?
or even just a 1 hour as is residential, the most common thing that most people are doing class. Because a few times lately, contracts that I've had come in, first of all, they're crazy, they're totally wrong. But it's even happened from agents at our office where it's been, really disappointing that the contracts are coming in and they're not valid and they're not how they should be.
Yeah, but
So, maybe a refresher course.
Didn't you record some of those classes, like the Nishad one and your previous ones that you've done? Aren't they recorded?
We record all of them. And
Okay.
And the problem, Angie, is I know who you're talking about, and that person doesn't come to the training. So, we can do whatever. We can have, Mr. Farbar himself in here, and it's not going to help because nobody's the people who need it aren't the people who come. you know.
She put her down payment amount as the additional escrow. And like, those are just, two different things. And like, it could really screw her client over to have an addition, that much escrow. And so little things like that are little, but they're big.
Well, the things that cost you the deal, that cost you your deposit, they cost you whatever. So,
Mhm.
I can only have a, you can lead a horse to water, but
Yeah.
kind of thing. So, but we'll do that again. We've got lots of stuff coming out, so we'll be
Okay.
doing that again. And one day, hopefully, we'll see each other in person again. Not too soon. You guys need to get your act together. So, all right. And I do too, apparently. So I will see you guys. Thank you all for coming. Anything else, let me know. I will not be, I want to tell you guys this is an announcement to make. I will be out in the middle of the ocean all weekend, starting Friday afternoon, not coming back till Sunday afternoon. So if you have any questions or comments, I am not ignoring you. I am not within reach of a phone. Literally will not see land. I'm in a fishing tournament that I don't want to go. I'm being held hostage. And I will not see land for 2.5 days. So best of luck to you all. I will not be ignoring you. I just won't be near any kind of device. So best of luck to you all this weekend, and I'll be back Sunday night.
Well, have fun, Ryan.
Thank you.
Good luck, Ryan.
Thanks. I need it.
Bon voyage.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you
Bye.
all for coming.
Bye.
Thanks.